Hello, everybody. Rod Baker with God and Rod. And I spent the last couple of days hanging out with my granddaughter. And, that kind of line of love. And what I mean by line of love is because, she comes from my blood. She comes from my spirit. She comes from my soul. And, I raised her for a lot of her life. So there's so much of that influence of mine on her that she had received, all through my 40s, which is a pretty good time in a man's life. And I would hope in a woman's life too, but definitely in a man's life. The 40s are really good. Now, I must admit, being in my 50s now, that 50s are they're pretty better. They're pretty better. So I must say, I'm astonished by it. Now, the subject matter that I'd like to talk about, and I'd like to name this video, the inflow rather than the undertow. And I'm going to liken it to, being in a river or being in a stream or being in some sort of current, even in the ocean, being in a current. And so many of us live our lives in that current, and then we get caught in an undertow anytime something erupts or, we make a move differently. There comes an undertow that comes underneath us and takes us a different direction if we allow it. Now, the beautiful thing about my friend over in bloody London is that she truly grasps the inflow. She really does, and so do some of the other friends of mine throughout the country and throughout the world. I don't know if you realize this or not, but there are people half a world away that they may or may not be praying for me, but the truth of the matter is they're thinking well of me. And I think well of them. So much so that it adds a blessing, an energy blessing to their life. There are people who most of my life have tried to sabotage me, hex me, curse me. I'm aware of that. I've been married a few times. I'm aware that there's women out there that, would love to see some of the most devastating things that could possibly happen to me. But, sorry, sister. Ain't gonna happen. You might as well get used to it. You might as well get used to Rod Baker's growing in love. And even though you will never be a part of my life again, and I have no thoughts on you whatsoever. I just don't even think about you at all. And if I do, I stay neutral with it rather than, because I want you to think neutral of me. I don't want you to have concerns for me or think badly of me. I don't want you to think well of me, and I don't want you to think badly. I want you to stay in a place of neutrality when it comes to me. It's the safest place for you to be. As if I had never came to your life, because that's the way I look at you. As if you never came into my life. And I got no trouble with that. But again, let's get to the point of this. The inflow rather than the undertow. There's a couple of different things here. One of them being, you can try to forge out your own direction, your own path, your own way of life, all by yourself. I'm not talking about friends or family or things like that. I'm talking about where it's strictly, you decide your own purpose. Now, it is written that a man makes his plans, but God guides his steps. Now, see, I'm comforted by that. And I guess I'm comforted by that because it has worked so well with my recovery in life, being clean from alcohol and drugs, clean and sober from alcohol and drugs. It's 25 years that I've been that way, a quarter of a century. I have been clean and sober longer than I drank. I started drinking at 12. I got clean and sober at 29, 30, at 30. And so for me, those 18 years of drinking and doing drugs, I have surpassed that several years ago. So that's one of the wonderful things that happens when you get clean and sober at a certain point in time in life, where you have the opportunity to stay clean and sober longer than you used or drank. So fortunately for me, I have that relationship with God that is so a power greater than myself, that is so necessary on a daily basis, because those temptations are still there. The same thing with having sex with women without a covenant. I don't do that. I do not have sex with women without a covenant. There must be a covenant. I just got a text asking if I was wearing green today. Camouflage green. I went camping last night, and it was so beautiful under the moon, and of course I'm an avid camper. I spend a lot of time in the woods. Shoot, man, I'll go down the Dead Gum River and light a fire and camp out down there. That's one of my true spiritual times. But my point being this, that because of my reliance on a power greater than myself, because of my reliance on God to keep me clean and sober, even today on a daily basis, because we have a deal. He and I have a covenant. Not just one covenant, but we have several covenants. But because I rely on him so much, it keeps me in the inflow of life. The inflow. Kind of like my spiritual sister Phil in Philly. If she ever, catches this, I hope that she knows what a blessing she is. Same with, with my friend Dream, my sister Dream. Huge, wonderful. And, I'll even go as far as to say what some used to call oracles. We tend to use the verbiage prophets nowadays. There's one that's so valuable to me that she's like the sun, moon, and stars. Prophetess. My point being that when you're in the inflow of that relationship with God, with that power greater than yourself, with the universe, with the Holy Spirit, even with Jesus. Now, for me, Jesus was a savior that got me to God. So he's like my brother. I don't worship Jesus. I worship God. I'm grateful for Jesus. I love Jesus. But that's Jesus. When people tell me that I need to be more like Jesus, I tell them, you be like more like Jesus. You go walk on water, and I hope you end up falling in the lake. Go walk on water. You want to try to tell me to be like Jesus? You go walk on water. You start laying on hands on the sick. You start doing that. You start doing those things Jesus did. Want to try to tell me what to do when it comes to how God would have me live? God wanted me to be Rod Baker. If he wanted me to be Jesus Christ, he'd have made me Jesus Christ. But he didn't. He made me Rod Baker. Now, I've tried to warn you. I've tried to prepare you. I've tried to inform you on the things of the Lord, on how to love, how to forgive, how to do all these things. I've done these videos for over 2 years now. I've tried to assist you and help you into that. And you know what? I live a life where I want what I've given. That's all I ask, is that I want the kind of relationships that I've given. And if you can't do that, which many can't, well, then I bind you. I bind you in the name of Yeshua. I bind you by the word. I rebuke you. If you can't have that kind of relationship with me and you want to try to mess with my life, boom, you're in the undertow, because I live in the inflow. That's where I live. Me and those that love me and those I love. See, we have that kind of relationship. We have that kind of relationship. It doesn't matter if I've never met you. We have that kind of relationship where we live by these principles. These, even if they're just universal principles, where we receive that which we have given. We harvest that which the seeds we have planted. We continually work at cleaning out our mind. Every day, my work is on me. Money comes and money goes, man. I can buy something and sell it and make money easily. It's a talent. God has given me that as a talent. So to survive in this world that is monetary, I got no trouble. It's easy to do. If you find it difficult, then maybe you need to fix the things that are in here that is making you look at those things that are monetary rather than the things that are true blessings of life. Try working on your faith. Try working on your hope. Try working on your love. Try working on the kind of character that brings integrity. You know, we lost a good man not too long ago, Bob Proctor. And we didn't lose him because he left so much of his work behind. So we really didn't lose Bob Proctor other than his physical presence, which he was getting old anyway. But the wonderful part about Bob Proctor is he continued to tell you that for outside gain is an inside job. Outside gain is an inside job. Look at who you are surrounding yourself with. Look at who your own mother is. Is your mother a witch? Is she a little voodoo witch? Does she make little voodoo dolls? Does she? Does she wish good on you? Are you not at an age where you can finally let go of the people that have been in your life since you were a kid that have done nothing but take you down a wrong road? Or maybe it's been you that's tried to draw them down the wrong road, which you have no business watching this anyway. Flip the channel. Flip the channel. What I'm here to tell you is an inflow. An inflow is just like a garden. The seeds you plant is the harvest you will reap. What kind of tree are you? What kind of garden do you have up here? Is it a garden of weeds? Is it a garden of nonsense and briars and stickers? Or do you yield good fruit? Because it's up to you. That's your decision to make. See, the wonderful thing about God is He has given you a choice. You make it, and He honors it. And He honors it. He keeps His promise. And His promise is that He'll honor your choice. So, I want to throw a special thank you out there to, my spiritual sisters who, you have opened up my heart, ladies. You have truly opened up my heart. All of you. For your love has moved me. It has healed me. It has taken me to a place that no others can go. And you were there for me. May you continuously be blessed. For it is written, He blesses those of His who bless, and He curses those of His that curses. So there you go. Have at it. Thank you very much, and good day.